when we really understand from a health perspective that our connection and our relationship with money is absolutely important, absolutely critical, and a critical area of the material world that we must master in order to truly live the life that we really desire, the life that we really truly are capable of living and embodying. Money in of itself is not really the issue. Money is the most common commodity in the world. It's the most common thing. It's everywhere. Everybody has some of it. Some people have more than others, but it is floating around, whether you're talking about paper dollars or you're talking about made up numbers on a computer screen or a bank statement. It's the most common thing. And it's also the most common thing on the consciousness of people everywhere. So people are thinking about it all the time. Most people are thinking in the negative, how much money they need, how much money they don't have, and all the worries and concerns that come along with that. But ultimately, what we need to understand is that there is no lack of money or resources. We live in a time in human history where opulent, unlimited, abundant resources have never been more available to every single human being on the planet. I'm not going to get into a whole debacle around like certain people in the world in third world countries and poverty and all that. That's a different conversation. I'm talking to you right now who is watching this. You right now who is privileged enough to hear this message on your phone or on your computer to live stream this with me. We are so absolutely privileged. And because we've grown up in this age of information and technology and availability, we are so spoiled to the point where we don't actually realize and recognize how truly fortunate we all are. And that's the first thing that I think is really important to understand, is that gratitude and appreciation is really the key to creating all that you wish to have in your life. Because ultimately, everything that we desire to obtain, acquire, and to have, and to experience is because we want to feel a state of feeling. And we would prefer to feel that as a consistent thing, right? We would prefer to feel prosperous and abundant and happy and joyful and fulfilled and satisfied on a moment by moment ongoing process, right? That would be the preference. So oftentimes what we do is we seek to obtain certain things, whether that's a relationship, that is the obtainment of money as a means to get a new car, to get a new home, to start that business that you really want to start, to create more alternative streams of income in your life. Ultimately, all of these things are a bridge and access point to creating the experiences that are going to elicit the states of feeling that we ultimately want to feel. So one thing that I would say, similar to what I say, you know, when I talk about religion and stuff, is that you don't need a middleman to God, right? Nothing wrong with congregating and going to these organizations, these atmospheres that are inspiring an enthusiasm, right? To connect with higher states of feeling, to connect with our creator. That's all beautiful, but you can't rely on those things because ultimately they're a middleman to your divine connection with the creator, with your higher self, right? So you can actually bypass that and go straight into that. What you appreciate will appreciate in your life. What you don't appreciate will depreciate, right? And it will become something that's detrimental or negative, or that's leaking energy, right? So what you appreciate and what you have gratitude for will actually create an opening within you to actually receive more of that energy that you are you're cultivating through the awareness of the prosperity that you already have in your life as it is. One of the things that I wanted to share was around I guess it's almost like time management. You can't manage time. That's completely hokey, ridiculous idea. It's the same thing of like time is money, right? There's these social motifs that we've just somehow taken on, didn't question it whatsoever. We just took it on, and it's like, oh yeah, time is money. So then you don't understand the implications of what that actually does to your energy system, what that does to your consciousness, and how it manipulates your choices of where you do spend your money, and how much money you can create and earn for yourself and your family and whatever your endeavors and your ventures and the things that you want to create in the world is. It creates a bottleneck on what's possible. So look, money issues oftentimes are energy mismanagement issues. Money issues are oftentimes energy mismanagement issues. This brings me to another point, which is that it's never the resources that we lack. It's a lack of resourcefulness that we need to look at. It's never a resource issue. It's a solution orientation issue. I'm not being solution focused. I'm being problematic focused. I'm focusing on the perceived problem, and that puts lack, limitation, and bottlenecks. The energy that I can manifest, and to direct that energy into what it is that I want to create every time. And there is an interesting pattern that entrepreneurs have until a lot of us break out of that pattern, which is this like kind of struggle to succeed pattern where, we have a certain thermostat. They call this the upper limit. So let's say, for example, you have a certain amount of money that you need to have in your bank account to just kind of feel at ease, right? There's a certain limit where you will not go below. That's your thermostat. It'll get too cold, and all of a sudden you're like, man, I need to turn it on, and I need to get into action and get into gear. Let's say that's like $1,000. Let's just say that. Okay, $1,000 in your bank account, that's your low limit. That's the limit you will not go below. And when you get closer to that, you start to get anxious, you start to get tense, and that's when you start to turn on the gears and get in the game, right? Well, conversely, there's an upper limit. There's a thermostat. Once you start getting, most people live in the lukewarm place, right? Which is like that in between. It's kind of like not really making a decision, to go to the next level, but kind of like teasing it out a little bit. So let's say $5,000 is like your upper limit. Okay, so you work, you hustle, whatever the thing is, and then you crack it out, and then you get to that 5,000, and then you chill. You're like, okay, I'm good. I'm good. I'm gonna relax. I'm gonna chill. I'm good. Everything's fine. I feel at ease. I'm at peace. Wonderful. Well, the problem with this is that it's a pattern. This is a persistent pattern. It's like, okay, what's going to happen? That money is going to go somewhere. Money is going to get spent. And a lot of times, one of the patterns that I had in the past was that when I would make a lot of money, I would spend it, because I was under this naive conclusion that like, oh, I've cracked the code. Now I know how to make money. It's always going to be like this, right? But that's not how we learn our lessons in life, is it? It's not through comfort. It's not through just thinking it, like the law of attraction. Which is real, by the way. The law of attraction is real, but it's a felt living experience. It's a living principle that must be practiced all the time, not just when things feel good. It must be practiced all the time. It's really the law of magnetism from more of a physics perspective. It's the law of magnetism, which is a feminine principle. The feminine principle is magnetism. The masculine principle is electricity. And so when you integrate the feminine, the masculine within, now you have electromagnetism, which is the most powerful force in the field. If you say the magnetic field of the earth operates this way through the combination of the masculine sun, the hydrogen, and the feminine earth, the oxygen, and all those things meeting together create electromagnetic field. So we do that within ourselves. We create an electromagnetic field within ourselves, and that's truly how you magnetize and also attract the things that you're attracting into your life, right?